Yes, it's Kutski. Welcome to the brand new breakfast live stream. Hardboiled Radio. What the hell are you doing up at this time of the morning making a radio show on Facebook Live? I hear you asking. All will be explained very shortly, but at first let's get straight into some music. Get your shouts in the comments. We're live and direct. So I had a little idea a while back. During the Radio 1 days, I always wanted to host the breakfast show. On bank holidays, they let the specialist DJs take over. And I wanted them to let me take over the breakfast show doing the hard beats. They wouldn't let me. But times have changed now. The power is in the hands of anyone with a little bit of motivation and an alarm clock, basically. Something that's been on the back of my mind for a little while. I wanted to present a traditional daytime radio format show, but with hard beats. So I decided finally yesterday I was going to stop thinking about it. I was going to get my shit together, set my alarm clock and do it this morning, dive in at the deep end. So we've got all the usual features you can expect on a daytime radio show. The mystery years, where I'll be playing a bunch of tracks from different years. And you're going to have to message in and let me know what year you think it is. We've got guests on the show. I do believe AudioFreaks is going to be joining us on the phone shortly. Destructive Tendencies are going to be joining us a little bit later. We've got the news coming up later in the show. Plenty more features. Requests coming in, hard beats. If you think this is going to be something you're going to be enjoying, make sure you tag a friend in the comments and let them wake up to these beautiful hard beats. For right about now, it's time for me to get straight into the mix, drop down some fresh hard beats for you. It's Kutski Hardboiled Radio. you want to shout on the show, or you've got any comments, any requests coming in, get involved. Facebook Live, Kutski's page, drop me a message on there, we'll get into it. Yes, let's get some shouts on the go and say a big shout out to Andrew Allrods. Shout out to Lee, who says looking forward to the full English hardcore breakfast. Shout out to Craig, bouncing around in Glasgow city centre. This needs to happen more often. I'm not sure about that, mate. I'm not really that good in the mornings. I was talking to my girlfriend last night and she wasn't saying, you know, kind of like, oh, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with the radio show. She was like, I'm looking forward to seeing you trying to function at 6 o'clock in the morning. Just about says it all. Also, shout out to Catherine Lewis, asking if there's any tickets left for the weekend. Of course, we've got that big show on in Northern Ireland, Keeping the Rave Alive in Portrush, up in Lush. That's with myself, the Tweakers, Evil Activities, and local support up there. That's going to be a big one. No tickets on that one, which makes my arse nervous as a promoter, so we don't know the tickets, but it's always busy. But if you get there early, you should definitely get in there on the door. Shouldn't have a problem, Catherine. Look forward to seeing you there. Also, a big shout to Dale from Thurso. We'll be up in the far reaches of Scotland in a few weeks. Should be good fun. If you just tuned in, slightly new project that's been bubbling in the back of my mind. I wanted to do a breakfast hardcore radio show of all the things. Let's get back into the beats. Frontliner remix. Brand new one in the background now, Mix Factory, Take Me Away. And it's a brand new remix by myself and Fracture. Been sitting on this one for a little time, it's going to be released soon. Hard beats with your breakfast, it's Kutski. Shouting out everybody in the Facebook chat right about now. Shout out to Emma B, says wakey wakey. Shane, loving this remix. Thanks man, glad you're feeling it. I don't think I need to tell you what this one in the background is, do I? Cheeky little re-edit from Pat B. Been playing this one over at the festivals through the summer, goes off every single time. Do me a favour, punch the share button. I've realised I've taken quite a task trying to juggle here, actually promoting the show, hosting it, mixing it, and doing everything myself. So you can take part as well, help spread the word, let's get the numbers up. Right about now, let's go back into the beats. Our first confirmed guest of the day, AudioFreaks, going to be joining us on the phone in just a few minutes. Good buddy of mine. Just out walking the dog, buddy. I'm talking to him shortly.
Stand by for action. case, man. I love how all girls I move them body.
Would you like some cheese with your breakfast? Brand new Kit Hype remix, this is awesome.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, 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 move it. I like to, you like to mash it up. Move it. You like to move it. Move it. Alright. Mash it up. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. All girls all over the world. Original man, stunt man, on your case, man. I love how all girls I move them body. And when you move your body, wanna move it nice and sweet and sexy. Alright. Alright. Sweet and sexy. Alright. Sweet and sexy. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. Move it. You like to move it. Move it. Alright. Mash it up.
This one in the background now, a really cool remix I got sent from Zero Hero. Bass drop, of course. That's Mikey Modulate and Darren Styles' new project. The original one clocking in at 160 BPM, kind of sitting somewhere between Psytrance and UK Hardcore. This is the Bomb Squad edit. Pretty cool beats. Hope you're feeling it. Hope you're slowly starting to wake up this fine morning. You're in tune to Kutski's Hard-Boiled Breakfast. In just a couple of minutes, AudioFreaks going to be joining us on the phone, or that's the plan anyway. It should be pretty entertaining even if I can't get my phone to work.
that bass drop.
Hey, this is Darren Styles, keeping the rave alive with Kutski.
Okay, here's where the fun begins now. I decided that I wanted to make a breakfast radio show, and I thought, well, there's always call-ins on breakfast radio show. So I thought, I want to have call-ins, but I don't want to call boring people. I want to call my friends in the scene. So first up, of course, my partner in crime when it comes to hosting radio shows. You'll know many for years. We've worked together. He's a good friend, AudioFreak. And he's not quite on Australian time at the moment. He's on Dutch time. So I thought I'd give him a little call now. Apparently he's just out walking his dog. Now I checked all this out yesterday. I called another of my friends, Jordan Suckley. It's like trying to see if I could get this working. And it worked. But there's going to be no promises that this is going to work now. So hang on, right, where do we go? Let's get Sam's number up. Make sure I hide that one from the webcam, otherwise everyone will be sending him dick pics. No dick pics for AudioFreak. Okay, and we should be calling Sam right about now. I can hear something, that's a good sign, that's a good sign. There he is, it's the one and only Mr. AudioFreak.
Good morning, Kutski. How you doing?
Good, man, good. How's life? You're live on air. Check it out. Can you see this on FaceTime? We've got a little kind of makeshift studio going on here.
Love it.
Yeah, you feeling the vibes? You don't look very impressed, man. It's like it's too early in the morning for anyone.
No. You know what? It's just kind of like the morning sadness. You know when you get up in the morning and like, if it's not an amazing day, you're kind of like, oh, another one. Yeah. It's like happening right now, and especially like with the Dutch. I don't want to call it like autumn, because autumn's usually less depressing than this. But whatever's happening with the weather over here, it's kind of like, it's not adding to the mood, it's like taking away. So if I look like really sad and kind of miserable right now, it's from external factors.
Yeah, it's you Aussies can't survive in kind of the European winters.
I think I need to live in a tan bed.
That's probably not a bad idea. Can you replace your bed at home with one, or...?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, you know, and just have like little stations everywhere. So kind of like, you know, leave the bedroom, go down to the kitchen. There's another little portable tan bed there. And then, you know, go down, sit by the couch, and there's another little portable tan bed there. Just like permanent sun. So you can just get a hit as you're going about your daily life. Exactly. You know, like junkies need heroin, Aussies need sun. Yeah, well, it's kind of, it's the less evil of the two, I'd argue. I reckon. Anyway, so how's life, man? I seen you playing a pretty sick gig at the weekend. What was going on over in France? Oh, okay. Look, it was kind of a bit of like a surprise because I've heard about this festival before. It's not really so much of a festival as much as it is a street parade. And it was a parade called Techno Parade that's been going on for like 18 years and predominantly was like a techno thing. So if you remember like the legendary Love Parade of Berlin. Yeah, of course. It's kind of in the same spirit as that. It was like organized a little bit by like the Council of Paris in partnership with different organizations who like throw parties and stuff. And it's just kind of like a big thing where half of Paris shuts down and then a parade of trucks go through. And they requested me and I was kind of like, look, you know, don't think I've got anything, you know, coming, like it was months and months ago. And I was like, all right, let's do it. Like, it seems like it could be fun. You know, just one of those things where you're like, okay, let's do it for a laugh, no expectations kind of thing. And then, look, I'm telling you, I have probably top 3 gigs ever. Like, really? Because, yeah, dude, that's saying something, man. Dude, it was really, really, really cool just because of the vibe. Like, the people just wanted to rage. Like, you know, when you go to a party sometimes and the crowd might be massive, but people are just sort of like standing around talking about... Yeah, smoking a cigarette, you know, like with their back to you. There's nothing worse than the guy that's at the railing who's got his back to you. The worst. That's the worst thing ever. And this was like the opposite of that. Like, because people could go anywhere they wanted and there was like no restrictions. Like the city was shut down, they could go and do whatever. Like there's people up on top of bus stops raging, you know, like in trees, hanging off traffic lights. It was absolutely insane. Seriously, man, one of the top 3 gigs I've ever played in my life just because of how wild it was. It sounds like a health and safety nightmare from the perspective of the people running the event, but actually from a DJ's perspective, you can't get better than that thing, can you? Yeah, exactly right. Like cops were like telling people to like sort of like, dude, you've got to get off this bus stop right now. And I was just like, no, more people in the bus stop. Yeah, get up there, help your friend up there. It's all right, there's people at the bottom, they'll catch them. Health and safety's fine. So wild. Awesome. So one of the things that I've been pretty excited about, man, it's like, you know me, I like my nerdy gaming stuff, and it's kind of, and I've been balls deep in Splatoon, which is not the most credible shooter. But you've been rolling deep with Destiny, man. I've been seeing this, I've been following it. It's like, so what's going on with this, man? It's like... Dude, like Destiny is totally my jam. Like shared world shooters, it's like my new thing, right? Because you can kind of have like the friendliness of playing with other people, but you're not playing competitively against each other. You're kind of like working together as a kind of team building kind of thing. But at the same time, like you got your loot drops, and then it's like very action focused. So like I like quick games, John. Like I was a big fan of like Doom when it came out last year. I just loved the speed of it. I was thinking of getting a PC. Like I'm not a PC gamer, I'm a console gamer, and I was thinking of getting a PC just for Quake Champions because of how quick it is.
Yeah.
Now, like obviously it's an expensive investment just for one game, but Destiny 2 gives me a kind of feeling where like it is a quick game, and you're playing with other people. You can play against other people, and it's just a big world. Like there's a lot of stuff to do compared to other shooters, you know. So I think it combines a lot of cool stuff from RPGs, the MMO sort of kind of approach, as well as like the shooter stuff. So I love the world, I love science fiction, I love space magic. That's one of the things. I've got like inexplicable things because it's just like space magic. But then as well as that, like you're playing with other people and like a lot of team building stuff, doing a lot of like, you know, jumping into like really interesting maps. So it's totally my jam, dude. I'm so into Destiny. I think, you know what, like right now it's like nearly 8 o'clock in the morning after I take the dog back for a walk. Like I think I'm going to jump on and play again.
Going to blast out a quick rig. So I was just about to ask, so where does that leave you today then? Is it studio or Destiny or some kind of mixture of both?
Oh, look, you know what? I'm a person that likes to have their cake too, so I think it's going to be like Destiny, then studio, then Destiny when I get back home again.
Yeah. Yeah, the Destiny sandwich, as it's known in the industry.
Oh, exactly right.
So what's going on in the studio then? I seen you working on something on your Instagram feed. It sounded kind of like you were taking some old school influences with something. Is that like a remix that you're doing or something for somebody?
Yeah, I've been doing some remixes and been doing some stuff, but like not as AudioFreak. You will be well aware that there's a project on the side that's sort of, you know, a friend of mine like to dabble in every now and then. So kind of doing some music for that. Like look. Code Black and I announced, well, it's kind of like a subtle announcement. It's not like the big official reveal. That we're kind of doing a Bioweapon album. So awesome. we're just kind of preparing all the stuff for that.
Is this like exclusive breaking news on Kutski's Hard Boiled Breakfast Show?
I don't know. I don't think I've like properly announced it anyway. It's just kind of like a cheeky snap. So
well, there we go. It is like I can rewrite the news feature at the top of the thing. Bioweapon are doing an album. So yeah, breaking exclusives here in the morning.
Exactly right. No, well, look, Code Black and I are preparing for that, so we're like doing some remixes and bootlegs and stuff for our shows because we've got some Bioweapon shows coming up. But also in the process of that, gathering sounds, building like a template and less of a template, more of a palette of influences for this album project that we're working on.
Sounds really cool, man. Well, I don't want to hold you too much longer because I can see Buddy's probably getting upset that we're holding him up. By the way, Buddy, because obviously not everybody can see the FaceTime feed, Buddy is Sam's awesome dog. There he is, taking a crap. Nicely done. Awesome stuff. Well, yeah, thanks for letting me wake you up at this time in the morning, man. And yeah, enjoy your Destiny raid and look forward to hearing this Bioweapon album, mate.
See you, Kutski. Take care.
Big up, mate. Of course, they're my good long-time friend, AudioFreak. And we're going to play up next a track of his this summer that's been doing the damage for me.
Hey everybody, this is MC Deviate, and you're listening to Kutski on Keeping the Rave Alive. Crop for Kutski! Rock on!
I've always loved the way AudioFreak mixes and mashes his styles, not just as a DJ, but as a producer as well. And when he sent over this track during the summer, well, it was before the summer, really. I've been playing this for quite a while now. Been opening all my sets with it. And the first drop after the break always 100% does the damage on the dance floors. This is AudioFreak with Stampede. Check it out. It's Kutski Hard Boiled Breakfast, live and direct.
It's DJ Kutski in the mix.
Okay, as I said at the start of the show, I wanted to make this fun little show basically the format of a traditional daytime radio breakfast show, but of course with hard beats. And what would any breakfast show be without the mystery years? And this is going to be quite difficult to do now because we've got the power of Google. So I'm not necessarily going to tell you the name of every track if I think it's going to be too obvious with helping you. And each track that I play, I'm going to play 3 tracks from each year. And I want you to drop me a message in the YouTube comments. Sorry, not YouTube, where are we on now? We're on Facebook. Drop me a message on the Facebook comments and let me know what you think the years are from. Now, of course, in the back you can hear Prodigy, Voodoo People. It's not the original, it's a hard trance remix. Do you know the artist so that you could Google it? Or maybe you just know the year. Let me know. Andy Bond says that he remembers me playing this one on Radio 1. So from there I think you could work out roughly what year it is. George Corello says, Kutski, is it 2004? Very close. But I'm going to give you a hint. It's a little bit later than that. Later than 2004. Guess the year. Let me know in the Facebook comments. It's Kutski on the Hard Boiled Breakfast Show.
It's DJ Kutski in the mix.
Shout out Connor Cameron saying you're keen at this time of the morning, John. Yeah, well, I'm on my 3rd cup of coffee now, I think it is. And I've been up since 6 o'clock, so this is almost midday for me. Janet says 1994. You would be right if you were going for Prodigy, Voodoo People. Although I think that might have been 93, maybe 94, but this is the remix. Like I said, we're going to start with the more difficult ones, and as we get closer to the end, it's going to be easier to find, because I know some people are going to start cheating and using Google. Shout out to Josh Bishop, who says 2007. Steve Diffin also says 2007. Ashley Jack says Voodoo People 1993. Again, not the original mix. And this might be a little bit hard because not everybody was into hard trance back then. Maybe that was not your chosen harder genre at the time. So let's switch things up, take things in a different direction and see if this spreads any light on the situation. A classic happy hardcore hit from the year in question. Again, I'm not going to say the name or title because I think it's going to give it away too much. See if you can figure it out from here.
Reaching out for my own salvation, and don't look back, leave yesterday behind. I took a chance on you, need to feel protection. I'm stronger now, and you're the reason why. So show me the way, you're the road that I have chosen. Light up my day, no more tears and I'm unbroken. Show me the way, you're the one that I've been searching. Guide me today, just like a flashlight, like a flashlight. Just like a flashlight, like a flashlight. Just like a flashlight, like a flashlight. Flashlight, 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 flashlight. So show me the way, you're the road that I have chosen. Light up my day, no more tears and I'm unbroken. Show me the way, you're the one that I've been searching. Guide me today, just like a flashlight, like a flashlight. 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 Just like a flashlight, like a flashlight.
Laura Jagger message in, says 2001. A little bit too early, Laura. People identifying the track on this one. That's going to really give you a clue of what year we're at. Aaron Clifton says 2008. Close, but no cigar.
Reaching out for my own salvation, and don't look back, leave yesterday behind. I took a chance on you, need to feel protection. I'm stronger now, and you're the reason why. So show me the way.
Shout out Billy Bunter in the comments, listening live.
Chosen light,
Rave legend.
no more tears and I'm unbroken. Show me the way, you're the one that I've been searching. Guide me today, just like a flashlight, like a flashlight. Just like a flashlight, like a flashlight. Just like a flashlight, like a flashlight.
Matt Ellie gets in touch and he says it was on the Skydiving album in 2007. We're not talking about album releases, if that helps. We're talking about official releases.
Show me the way, you're the road that I have chosen. Light up my day, no more tears and I'm unbroken. Show me the way, you're the one that I've been searching. Guide me today, just like a flashlight, like a flashlight. Just like a flashlight, like a flashlight. flashlight.
Shout out to Emma who says, I'm testing a brain too hard in the morning. Can you see all this equipment I've had to try and remember how to work after about 4 hours sleep and a lot of coffee? Suggestions have been coming in. We've had a couple of correct guesses so far. But I don't want to give away the game just yet.
Keeping the rave alive.
Here's your last clue for this Mystery Years segment. The player, Master of Shock in the background. So you've had a hard trance, a UK happy hardcore track, now a European gabba track. And it's not the original mix. Guess the year. So far, checking the comments, 3 people got it bang on. Give you a little bit more of a clue. This is the player, Master of Shock. Of course, the Anger Fist remix. So you had Montorsi's hard trance mix of Prodigy Voodoo People. Darren Styles' Flashlight, and now in the background, Master of Shock Anger Fist remix. Can you name the year? Hard beats with your cornflakes. It's Kutski's hard boiled breakfast. Okay, so the tracks you heard in the Mystery Years. Andrea Montorsi remix of Voodoo People by The Prodigy. Then we had the VIP mix of Darren Styles' Flashlight. I threw you a bit of a curveball there. And this one in the background, the player Master of Shock, Anger Fist on the remix. Mark Sparky Findley, he got that one right a few times. I saw him posting it. Sam Grassi got it right, as did Scott O'Neill, who all said it is definitely 2009. I want to say a big shout to everyone who played along with that, and especially how many people didn't go and use Discogs. I'm glad about that. We'll be doing another one of them in about an hour's time. But right about now, it's time to get back into the mix.
And see the dark explode with light.
I played life by the right rules. I've stayed in line a week, but now's my time to let go. Now's my time to breathe. You might think I'm crazy for braving the unknown, but I'm going to explode. I am going to explode.
It's the Hardstyle selection getting you through your breakfast, guiding you towards the weekend. We're still a little bit way off, but we can do it together. Hardstyle selection, your requests. If you want a track played on the show, tag a friend to wake up to the hard beats in the Facebook comments. And let me know what track you want to hear. It's Kutski in the mix. Hardstyle's remix of Great Spirit in the background now. This one requested on Facebook. Get in the comments, tag a friend to wake them up, let me know a track name. If I've got it, I'll play it. Shout out to Gaz, who says he wants to hear some reverse bass from MKN. Well, actually, Kyle's just done a remix of a track by myself and Jordan Suckley called Surveillance, and I got the master in my inbox when I woke up this morning. So I haven't even heard it, but I might play that in a minute, and we can have a listen to it together on air. That's a bit risky, isn't it, in case there's a problem? But yeah, talk about exclusives. Another request coming in from Gaz, who wants a Radical Redemption track. I'm sure that can be accommodated later in the show as well. But next up, we're going for a track from Warface. Well, if you ever need waking up in the morning, Warface is a good place to start. Really feeling this one in the background. It's entitled Welcome to the Jungle. It's raw, but it's also really interesting. There's a lot of different styles going on it. Awesome stuff. To the jungle. So next up in my quest to be the biggest breakfast radio host streaming on Facebook playing hard beats. It's kind of a niche market. I think I've got it cornered. I wanted to do a feature up next. It's always interested me, you know, when people in the hard dance scene, you know, there's like a name that's been around for a little while and then you kind of think, I haven't heard of that guy for ages, and then you kind of think, you know, maybe just knocked it on the head, got another job in a different industry. But But then other times you found, wow, you don't realise that they went on to have a whole nother career within the music industry, within a different style of music. And versatility is what makes the world go round. We all evolve, we all do different stuff. So I don't want to hear anybody, kind of going, sell out or stuff like that. I think it's, people have got to make their own musical journey and find their own way around. And I thought it'd be good to explore what people have done over the years. So I'm going to call this next feature, Where Are They Now?
Hey, this is Delete, and you're listening to Keeping the Rave Alive with Kutski.
Now, you may remember, if you were into your hard trance beats back in the day, an awesome duo from the southwest of England that went by the name of Rag and Log One. A while back they split to pursue different musical directions. Rag still very much pushing on that underground vibe. And I hadn't heard much from Log One until I heard a track in a different style of music. We'll be getting into that in just a little bit, but first get a taste for what their hard trance beats were all about. This is Derb is Derb, Rag and Log One remix.
Keeping the rave alive.
So if you're a regular listener of the Keeping the Rave Alive show, you know that I play an eclectic selection of beats on there, and sometimes I play tracks in different style of music, and I found a really cool trap track that I liked. Must have been about 12 months ago now, and I played it on the radio. It was by an artist called Discord, and then when it went live, I got a message on Twitter from Discord saying, thanks Kutski, always appreciated the support you gave us on our hard dance stuff back in the day as well. And I was kind of like, whoa. So I had to DM Discord and say, kind of like a little bit awkward, but who are you? And I got a message back, and it was James Log One that's gone on. Obviously I hadn't heard from him for a couple of years, and he'd gone on to do some more kind of like trap EDM-y house stuff. And him and his friend that have set up this new project, they're absolutely smashing it at the moment. So I'm not going to play too much of the music, but I thought it'd be cool and interesting to see. You can hear in the background the sort of stuff that he was doing. Now let's check out the sort of stuff that he's doing now. So there you can see quite a change in pace in music there. But he left us with loads of awesome hard trance during his period in the scene, and he's gone on to achieve even more success in a different scene, and we wish him the best of luck. Awesome. Check out Discord stuff. Absolutely love it.
Kutski, you pussy motherfucker!
And next up we're going to check out a track from an old hardcore act you may remember from around the turn of the millennium, releasing on the likes of New Energy, from out in America. He went by the name of AC Slater. This is Lonely Road.
I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's only me and I walk alone. I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and I'm the only one and I walk alone.
I used to finish a lot of my sets with this track in the background, AC Slater, Lonely Road. And I remember back in the day him saying that he wasn't feeling the hardcore stuff so much, the direction it was moving, and he wanted to experiment more on a housey tip. And I remember him sending me a mixtape back in the day of just his, you know, the housey stuff that he was feeling. It was a really cool mix. I had it on in the car for a little while, and then he kind of like, you know, dropped off the radar within my view. But then once I was playing a gig in Singapore and I walked down the road and saw this huge poster with AC Slater's face on it, I was like, wow. Turns out they'd set up a label, really pushed forward with the house stuff, and he's absolutely killing it at the moment. I've got back in touch with him since then, just because we used to speak over email a lot back in the day. Obviously, on a completely different tip now, I thought you might like to hear what he's up to these days, and I actually got sent through this track from him as part of an EP from his forthcoming album. So very fresh, very hot. This is AC Slater with Grimehouse. Always loved AC Slater's productions. If I'm a little bit biased, I'd say I preferred his hardcore stuff, but that's just because of my personal preference in music. Glad to see he's absolutely smashing it at the moment. And we're flipping the feature the other way around so we can finish on the hard track.
Don't even bother, I'd rather be a keeper for my brother. Just know that life ain't
Ragga Vibes in the background now. You may be thinking, who could have produced this that was a huge, huge name in hardstyle? Believe it or not, brand new one from Showtek. This is Don't Shoot.
We are the future, and ain't nothing brighter. So don't let them shoot you, let's shoot for the stars. Cause we are the future, we keep getting higher. Let's shoot for the stars. Hey, so hands up. For every son and daughter, won't be a goner in this new world order. If it ain't about love, Real love, why even bother? I'd rather be a keeper to my brother. Just know that life ain't just a bed of roses.
Such a fan of everything Showtek have done across all the different styles of music. As you know, I've got a very eclectic taste in music. My iPod is exploding with all different kinds of music that you'd probably never associate with me. Everything Showtek have always done is amazing in my opinion, but of course we know and love them for their harder beats, so it's time to go in for a Showtek classic.
Before we start, grab your weed and follow my basic instructions, okay? Just roll it, taste it, smoke it, and pass me the spliff. Also known internationally as the Dutchie.
Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Don't ask me to spell, okay. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, okay. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it. Alright, yeah, cool. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, pass the grass. My friend, the Dutchie. Just turn it up, okay. Pass the Dutchie.
And breathe in and breathe out.
That's what we call the Dutchie.
Up next, we've got another guest on the phone representing the rougher end of hardcore beats. We've got Destructive Tendencies joining us on the phone in just a minute. Looking forward to catching up with Mick and Joey. See what Gabraks get up to at this time in the morning.
Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Roll it, taste it, smoke it, now pass the Dutchie. Now pass the Dutchie.
Okay, up next, we're going to try and see if I can get my makeshift studio to call the one and only Destructive Tendencies. I can hear a ringing, that's a good sign.
Yo, Kutski.
Yes, we've got Mick from Destructive Tendencies on the phone. How's it going, sir?
How are we?
Good, mate, good. How's life? Have I woke you up too early this morning?
Actually, no, I have only just got up. We had a Netflix binge last night, so I was meant to be up a bit earlier, but no, we just jumped in the car now.
Yeah, we're on the way to the studio. Well, we're going to the gym first and then off to the studio. How you doing, John? You good,
All good, mate, all good. We've got the one and only Joey Riot in the house. What's happening, of course, the other half of Destructive Tendencies.
Oi.
So what's the plan of action for you guys? You know, it's starting to make worry a little bit, because I thought to myself I was the one that was getting up particularly early this morning to do a crazy project, and I thought nobody else would be up. And then I called up AudioFreak, and he's like, yeah, I'm up, I'm going to the gym. And I'm like, all right, cool. And now I call up you guys thinking that you'd be lying in bottles of vodka and stuff like that, still passed out from the night before. And you're like, no, I've got up, I've gone to the gym. Am I missing out on something here?
I don't get what's going on. I think it's like the modern day DJs now. There's none of this vodka stuff going on in the morning. I wish there was, though, to be honest.
Yeah. No coke off groupies' arses or anything anymore. It's all about kind of getting the gym, having a nutritious breakfast, and then getting in the studio and writing beats for the day. I can't lie. I think it's better for the industry overall. I think less casualties in the long run.
Like Joey just said, he's got vodka in his water bottle. So.
Yeah.
We went to the gym last night, and I was on the treadmill, and I was absolutely knackered after 20 minutes, and I was thinking, said to Mick, I was like, when I do like a session on stage, man, like I'm going for an hour, much more crazy than this, and I've got a bottle of Jack Daniels inside me, so I think it's a case of taking a bottle of Jack Daniels to the gym from now on, so I can last a bit longer.
Just power through it, isn't it, man? Yeah, liquid diet, that's the way. Yeah, a Scottish breakfast, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
We just sent you there on Facebook, John. That dressing gown's looking mighty fetching for a
morning.
Having
this? It's honestly, it's about 10 years old. I've not even got any credibility. It's one of them things, when it's not one of the things that you think to buy a new one, is it?
Well, John, I'm very aroused by it, so kudos, my friend.
Yeah, if you're looking, I might give you a little flash, Joey. You can see a little bit of leg now, you know what I mean? You can see a little bit of leg.
Wait till I stop driving, John. Wait till I stop driving so I can look.
Go back and watch the replay. So anyways, what are you guys up to today then? You're going to be in the studio, you said?
Yeah, we're just going to nip to the gym first, have a little workout, wake yourself up, and then hit the studio. We're working on a really big collab at the minute. We've just yesterday we just boxed off our EP for Masters of Hardcore, so we've done all the clips and the radio edits and all the the kind of boring stuff for that. So that's pretty much all ready to go. And we're just working on a collab with shall we say one of the biggest, if not the biggest, name in the toilet.
Can you drop us any names? Because I got it out of AudioFreak before. I've been putting people into trouble this morning. Everyone that I've been calling up. So I managed to get AudioFreak to leak the fact that he was doing a bioweapon album. So can we get an exclusive?
Some big bloody news. Jesus
yeah, so we're getting some news. So can we get some Destructive Tendencies exclusive? Can you throw me a line here?
This is why you're doing it at breakfast time, to catch DJs off guard and get exclusive news.
Don't let them know. Nobody will answer the phone to me anymore.
What we can't say we're doing the collab with at the moment, but what we can say, and we've not announced it yet, is that the EP on Massive Hardcore is going to be out on the 6th of October.
Oh wow, so it's coming up soon.
We've not announced that yet.
That's exclusive, so there you go. First announced here, John.
Awesome stuff. So what, guys, have you got coming up in the clubs? Because obviously it's kind of like, we're good friends. I see how much, you're travelling and stuff, and some of the cool parties you play. And I've seen you've got some cool gigs coming up this weekend.
Yeah, we've got Masters of Hardcore in Switzerland, which...
on Saturday,
that's going to be awesome. Last year, they upped the ante a bit and moved to a much bigger arena, so we're looking forward to getting back to that place. The atmosphere was unreal last year, and I nearly broke my ankle as well, doing a wall of death in the middle of the whole floor. People running at me, so I'm looking forward to maybe finishing myself off.
Doing it on the other leg.
Yeah.
Cool. And then on Monday, we're over in Germany at the famous Atrium nightclub. On Tuesday, it's a countrywide German holiday, so we throw a massive party on Monday, the 2nd of October. So, we'll have a Sunday break and then straight over to Germany on Monday to play at Atrium. So, it's going to be a good weekend.
Sounds amazing. So, are you going to hook up in the near future? You're going to hook me up with this new EP so we can get as an exclusive hardest record on Keeping the Rave Alive in the coming weeks?
Yeah, we'll get it over to you today, mate.
Dropbox in 5 minutes, mate.
Perfect stuff. But yeah, to fill in the meantime, I'm going to let you guys get to the gym, be healthy, while I'm just going to be a nerd and click buttons on Facebook for the next kind of like hour or so until I start coming back to life. And I play a track that you sent me over a while back by yourselves teaming up with Disturb. Do you want to tell me about how that collaboration came about?
We're just real big fans of the raw style stuff he does, and we just got in touch with him, and as soon as we started talking to him, we hit it off, and when we went over to Holland, we just took an extra day and went in the studio with him and got all the ideas boxed off, and he wanted to make a hardcore track. It was his first hardcore track as well. And it just went really well. That track's actually part of the EP we're releasing on Master Hardcore, so you have got one of the tracks there.
Yeah, man, we'll send you the other two, John, but yeah, if everyone wants to check this out, this is called Full Tank.
Okay, let's go into it. Mick, Joey, Destructive Tendencies, thanks very much for your time this morning. Good luck at the gym, and even better luck in the studio later today.
Cheers, bro. Big love. Speak to you soon.
Speak soon, mate.
Bye.
So there we go, Destructive Tendencies on the phone, busy as always. And this track in the background from their forthcoming EP on Masters of Hardcore, Destructive Tendencies and Disturb, this is Full Tank.
Bring it to you. Bring it to you. Let him bring it to you. 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 Shut the fuck up and roll up to speak it to you. I got a fool take the ride, let him bring it to you. This is what you gon' get.
Shout out to all the Facebook Live crew keeping me company here on this little experiment. Kutski's Hard-Boiled Breakfast Show. If you want to share the hard beats with the world, help make the world a better woke-up place with hard beats, hit the share button, give us a like, tag a friend that you think needs to wake up to these hard beats. Shout out to Scott, wants some Frenchcore, maybe a little bit later in the show. And I was planning to do a news report within, kind of like the hardest theme rather than the newspaper headlines, and I've missed 8 o'clock, so if this was a traditional commercial radio station, I'd probably have already been fired already. But also I'm pretty sure that I've swore on the show, made sex and drug references as well, which would have also got me sacked. But this is the joy of being an independent artist. So now we go straight over to our news department. Breaking news this morning. I was going to give the date, but I don't even know what date it is. Hang on, let me have a look. It is the 28th of September, Thursday the 28th of September. Breaking news, Bioweapon are working on an artist album. We found that out from AudioFreak earlier this morning when he joined us on the show. Destructive Tendencies are working on a collab with, I quote, in their words, the biggest name in the toilet. And then if we're going to dig a little bit deeper in news, because that's about my knowledge, is just talking to friends, I don't really dig that deep. So I'm heading over to the one place where I know I can find out some news, hardnews.nl. Can they sponsor the feature or something? Headhunters, Noise Controllers and Wildstyle spotted in the studio together on Noise Controllers' Instagram, working on a follow-up to Tonight, the anthem from yesteryear. Hardstyle trio Sledgehammers set to produce their first festival anthem, The Ritual, for an event in Finland. Stereo Tuners uploading clips from their new album, The Graveyard Shift. Frontliner set to release a new solo album entitled Neon. If you want more information on those news articles, head over to hardnews.nl, because I'm not a journalist, I didn't do me research, I just went on the website this morning and printed out the headlines. Not the most organised, I'll give you that. But if you've just tuned in to the show, hope you're enjoying the beats so far. Something a little bit different to wake up to in the morning.
Hey, this is Darren Styles, keeping the rave alive with Kutski.
Keeping moving with the beats now, just going to drop a couple of tracks in the mix while I pour myself another cup of coffee and see if I can wake up. Then we're going to get into another edition of the Mystery Years. If you've just tuned into the show, earlier this morning we played a bunch of tracks from a certain year in time, starting more obscure, going more mainstream, and see if you can guess the year. That's coming up next. It's Kutski, Hard-Boiled Breakfast.
I fucked your mama last night, huh? That pussy's nice, eh? Puta madre. Puta madre. Puta madre. Puta madre. Puta madre. I fucked your mama. Hit it!
We're gonna do a song that you never heard before.
The roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn. Burn, motherfucker, burn. The roof is on fire. The roof is on fire. The roof is on fire. Let the motherfucker burn.
Pump up the volume.
you moving to the drum.
We are so much more than obedient workers and loyal consumers. We want to see the change, and we will see the change, because we are the change. We are the love. And yes, love rules the universe.
In the background now, my cheeky little re-edit of Mark with a K, Love Rules the Universe. Big tune for me on the festivals. Cheesy dance floor stuff.
Never bow down, never break, never lose it. Never bow down, never break, never lose it. Never bow down, never break, never lose it. Ready, motherfucker, this is how we do it.
Breakfast music, if ever I've heard it. If you're still lying in bed now, wakey wakey, come on, get up. I've been out since 6 o'clock. It's now 8:19 for me. I'd still normally be in bed though, so kind of I sympathise with you. If this isn't your breakfast show, if you're listening around the world, maybe listening on the west coast of America, maybe listening out in Australia, let me know in the Facebook comments where you are, what you're doing, where you're listening. Give you a shout on the show. But right about now, we go in for our next edition of the Mystery Years.
This is Max Enforcer, keeping the rave alive with Kutski.
So if you missed the show earlier this morning, basically the idea of this feature, I play a bunch of tracks from a certain year and you have to name what year you think it is. And I know you can cheat using the internet, I'm not stupid. But so play along nice, it ruins the fun, we all know we can play that. So I'm going to give you as much information as I think you need, but also it doesn't make it easy for those who want to cheat. Track in the background now from Organ Donors, 99.9. Now this came out just after the turn of the millennium. I couldn't tell you which year exactly off the top of my head. It's not this year that's in question because this is the Hard Edge remix. Does that slower BPM sound familiar with a certain time period in hard music? A little more recent? Hit me up on Facebook Live. Let me know if you think the year this was released, and if you go, well, I'm not into this kind of like, you know, kind of hard dancey sound, don't worry, I've got some hardcore to play you and some hardstyle from this year. I'll be reading out some of your suggestions of what year you think we're at. Hit me up. It's Kutski's Hard Boiled Breakfast, the Mystery Years. What year are we at now? Let me know. The suggestions have been coming in. Big shout to Curtis Bright, says 2007, not quite, my friend. Craig Cusworth says 2015, and again, I'm afraid you are wrong. Gary Smith says 2013, not quite. We've had a few suggestions that are a little bit closer. Maybe they're right, maybe they're not. But let's keep the game going just that little bit longer. If you're thinking that's not fair because I don't really know this style of music, you know, I'm really into my UK happy hardcore. So maybe this one's going to help you out a little bit. I don't even think I'm going to give you the name on this one. I'm just going to leave this one to sit here. See if you can guess the year. Let me know on Facebook. Syra says 2011, I'm afraid not. Darren Smith says 2013, again, I'm afraid not. Raoul says 2015, close. It's not right. Stokey Dave says 2015 all day long, super confident, and you are wrong, my friend. I'll give you another clue. I said I was going to play the track in the background but not tell you the name. Of course, it's Darren Styles and Gamma, You and I. Which year did it come out? Don't cheat.
You and I, we could fly into the open sky, and we'll hold on while our dreams collide, and take a moment in the open sky. We'll take a moment in the open sky. We'll take a moment in the open sky.
Welcome.
Have you got it yet? So far you've had Organ Donor's remix of 99.9. The track in the background, Darren Styles and Gamma, You and I. And if either of them styles of music didn't give it away for you, for your personal preference. Here's a super easy one for you.
Keeping the rave alive.
Come on now, you all know this one.
Down and out with my dumb friends, ready to misbehave. Forget about Monday to Friday, 'cause I've been working like a slave. Creeping towards the weekend, envy I'm able to shine. Bringing me down to the deep end. Back off, and let me lose my mind. Back off. Down and out with my dumb friends, ready to misbehave. Forget about Monday to Friday, 'cause I've been working like a slave. Creeping towards the weekend, envy I'm able to shine. Bringing me down to the deep end. Back off, and let me lose my mind. Back off.
Wild Styles and Brennan Hart in the background, Lose My Mind. I think the biggest clue I've given you in the mystery years so far. Shout out to Dennis Costa. Shout out to Scott O'Neill. And shout out to Kevin Byers. All got the correct year. I played your Organ Donors 99.9 Hard Edged remix. Darren Styles and Gamma, You and I. And Lose My Mind in the background by Brennan Hart and Wild Styles, of course, all coming out in the year of 2012.
Down and out with my dumb friends, ready to misbehave. Forget about Monday to Friday, 'cause I've been working like a slave. Creeping towards the weekend, envy I'm able to shine. Bringing me down to the deep end. Back off, and let me lose my mind.
And I've got something a little bit special for you up next. If you follow what I do from a production point of view, you'll know that I released a track earlier this year on that hard trance, tech trance tip with Jordan Suckley entitled Surveillance. And we've just got a harder remix from one of my favourite up and coming artists in the scene to do a hardstyle remix of it. He goes by the name of MKN. So I drafted him in on remix duties.
Hey, this is Darren Styles, keeping the rave alive with Kutski.
And to be totally honest with you, I haven't even heard the finished version of this track yet. I heard a couple of work in progress, but I saw the master in my inbox this morning when I got up at 6 a.m. It's too early. So I thought it must be fate. So rather than kind of wrapping up the radio show and having a little listen to it, I thought I'd share with you guys. This is myself, Kutski, teaming up with Jordan Suckley, MKN on the remix. This is Surveillance. Check it out, first ever exclusive play.
It's maybe hard for you to understand. There is no conspiracy. The reason we're here is that it's out of
It's DJ Kutski in the mix.
Big Brother is not watching you. Nobody is in charge. The reason we're here is that it's out of
Shout out to Kyle MKN on the remix of this one in the background, Jordan Suckley and Kutski, Surveillance. Exactly the style of remix we wanted. Epic vibes on it. Bouncy reverse bass and definitely a nod back to that early hard trance sound, the German Scott Project influenced stuff. MKN, definitely one of the rising talents in the hardstyle scene. Definitely think he's a name to watch over the next few years. Potential to break through to headliner status. Just my saying, just my tip. So we're going through till 9 a.m. here. Been live since 6:30 in the morning. It's Kutski's brand new breakfast radio show, Hard Boiled Beats. Something a little bit fun and different, but sadly we're coming to the end of our little adventure. We've got 20 minutes left, so it's time to crank up the tempo and go in just that little bit harder.
Yo, this is Slipmatt, keeping the rave alive with Kutski.
Get your requests in. We're going into the hardcore mix right about now, 170 BPM and upwards. Get your requests in, drop them in the Facebook comments, and I'll shout you out on the show.
If life gets too tight, it's time to unwind. Forget all your problems and leave them behind. There's only one goal, let's lose control. Used to be so happy, but without you here I feel so low. I watch you as you left, but I can never seem to let you go. Cause once upon a time you were my everything. It's clear to see that time hasn't changed a thing. It's buried deep inside me, but I feel there's something you should know. I will never forget you. You will always be by my side. From the day that I met you, I knew that I would love you till the day I die. And I will never want much more. And in my heart I will always be sure. I will never forget you. And you will always be by my side till the day I die.
Let's get some shouts on the go, people who are joining me on the Facebook chat. Shout out to Aaron, Darksiders locked in. Big up, mate. Long time no see, look forward to catching up again soon, mate. Shout to Rob Phillips. He wants to hear some Lenny D. I'll see if I can dig something out. Shout to Stephen Pyers, digging the robe, the dressing gown. It's been kind of a regular feature through the comments this morning. Shout out to Adrian Parker, Stevie Diffin, shout out to Sound Rush, playing some of your stuff earlier this morning, awesome vibes. Let's get back into the mix. It's Kutski. Okay, so you know I'm a nerd when it comes to video games, and I got a message from Nintendo saying that my Super Nintendo Mini that's just been released is going to be dispatched today and delivered tomorrow. So I wanted to drop this classic remix of an old Nintendo classic to see how many of you know where the melody of this is from, which game it's from. I'll give you a clue, way back to the original NES days. A little bit deeper than giving you a Zelda or a Mario to guess. I think this one's pretty obvious. Get it in the Facebook comments. Which classic 8-bit video game does this one in the background remix? Gregor Ledal. German hardcore beats. Ben says, is it Sonic? It's not Sonic. Nintendo, not Sega. There's another clue. Shout out to Matt Crystal Mad. I see you lurking in the comments, mate. Stokey Dave asks if it's Mario. It's not Mario, my friend. It's a deeper cut than that. You see, you guys are struggling a little bit. I'll give you a tip. He wears a blue suit. Of course, it's Mega Man. I can't believe nobody got it. Oh, just as I say, that one came through. Shout out to Craig Hamilton. We got it. Dubby. No, it's not Phoenix Wright. Our winner, Craig. Big up, mate. I thought I was going to have to give it away there. Excited for my little toy tomorrow. That's why I got up early today. It's like, you know, if I work early this morning, this afternoon and this evening, surely I can have tomorrow morning off to play with my new Nintendo toy. But up next, I've got another exclusive first play for you. It seems as you've hung around this long for the breakfast show with Kutski. Brand new track that I just finished with Joey Riot last week. I'm going to drop it in the mix up next.
Table that's just sort of pressing play and all this electronic music and lights. This didn't exist. Now they have laser music is insane. Those people are on ecstasy. Those people are fucked up. MDMA. There's also pills. MDMA. The music is insane.
Brand new one from myself and Joey Riot in the background now, entitled MD Amazing. Check it out.
I'd love that a place like this exists, though, man. That these kids can get together and just go fucking bananas. Because you can make some life decisions in these kind of rooms. You can decide how you're going to live your life. Sometimes you can go to a place like this and you just experience joy and laughter and fun and partying. And you're just in this fantasy land. Here's an interesting thing too. It's sort of an unspoken thing, but there's booze flowing for sure, but there's also pills. A lot of those people are on MDMA. There's also pills. The music is insane. The music is insane. Those people are on ecstasy. Those people are fucked up. There's also pills. Those people are on ecstasy. Those people are fucked up.
Kutski beats stronger than a hurricane. It's DJ Kutski in the mix.
The music is insane. What percentage, like if you could light people up, if a little thought light bulb popped up on their head when you look down the dance floor at all the different people that are on MDMA, it literally might be like 60% of the people are on ecstasy. There's also pills. The music is insane. There's also pills. Those people are on ecstasy. Those people are fucked up. Those people are on ecstasy. Those people are fucked up.
So we're getting ever closer to our 9 o'clock cut-off.
The thoughts and views expressed on this album are a direct reflection of the new generation. So without further ado, I bring to you.
It's time for one last track after this one. I always like to finish with an old school classic, but I don't know which way to go. Do I go hardcore, hardstyle, or hard dance? A classic. Just drop me a message, let me know how I should wrap up the show this morning. Hard dance classic, hardstyle classic, or hardcore classic. Drop either of the three of them suggestions in the comments right about now, and I'll be wrapping up the show with that in about 5 minutes time. But first, go in for some hard beats. Restyle, get it cracking. The remix. So I'm just checking out the comments now, and without a doubt, clearly we're going to be ending on a classic hardcore note. On this fun little experiment this morning.
This is Billy Daniel Button. Kutski, take him back to the old.
And what a better way to finish. I was just having a quick scan, then I had like 30 seconds to find something in my iTunes library that I thought everyone's going to be happy with as a hardcore classic. Hope you've enjoyed the show this morning. Like I said, a little experiment that I did kind of out of the blue. It's not something that I'm going to be able to do every single morning, obviously, because of everything else that I've got going on, but it's something that I might like to do regularly. If it's a success, or if you've enjoyed it, even if you're listening again ahead of time, please punch the share button, tag your friends in it that they think may like it. Let's get the numbers up there. The more successful this stream goes, the more likely we are to be doing more of it in the future.
Hardcore vibes that are on things. Hey, yeah. Hardcore vibes that are on things. Hey, yeah.
This one is dedicated to all the ravers in the nation.
Many thanks for joining me this morning. Hope it helped get you through your morning just that little bit more. It's amazing what hard beats can do. It's better than a good cup of coffee, isn't it? I've got a busy day ahead. I need to go and get a haircut, I think, before I do anything. Have some breakfast. Then I'm heading over to Manchester in the studio to work on a remix I'm doing for the forthcoming collaboration with Jordan Suckley. I'm doing a hardstyle remix of that one, collaboration with Fracture. So you can follow me on Snapchat and Instagram and all of that business. And again, as I said, thanks for joining me on the show. Make sure you share the link.
Hardcore vibes. Hardcore vibes. Hardcore vibes. Hardcore vibes that are on things.
If you're out raving this weekend in the UK, feel free to come over and join us. Keeping the rave alive at Portrush, at Lush in Northern Ireland. It's going to be awesome. Myself, Kutski, alongside the Tweakers, Evil Activities. Stack lineup on that one. It's big every year we do that party, and I think we're delivering the biggest lineup to date, so that's going to be a big one. If you want more hard beats, check out my weekly podcast, Keeping the Rave Alive. That's on SoundCloud, Mixcloud, iTunes, all of those places. And keep it locked on my Kutski Facebook page for more of these crazy live streams that we're going to be doing, I think. Now we're set up in the studio. Thanks again for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of the tune. It's Kutski signing out. Until next time, keep the rave alive.
Than a hurricane.
Hardcore vibes that are on things. Hey, yeah. Hardcore vibes that are on things. Hey, yeah. Hardcore vibes that are on things. Hey, yeah. Hardcore vibes that are on things.